Give you all of me, give me all of you. I got.
This is Double Take, a twin series where we take one product and create two different looks. Today's product is Peachy High Blush. So just to clarify, this is a highlighter and blush all in one, which I actually didn't realize in the beginning of creating this makeup look. I thought it was only a liquid blush, so my initial idea was to make this peachy look with a green eyeliner, because I think the colors pink and green makes a very beautiful color combination. But what I then came to realize was that this blush and highlighter wasn't as pink as I thought it would be, or it didn't have that much pigment, which makes total sense now that I know that it's a highlighter. And I didn't want to hide the pigment with any other blush, so I just went for it as it was and created this more natural tanned look, but then stuck with the plan of doing a green eyeliner. I decided to pair that with a nude lip because that's my favorite, then added some mascara, and that will be my final look. Now over to Isa. Okay, so for my look, I wanted the skin to be the main focus. I wanted to create a very light and glowy base, and I feel like this high blush was perfect for that. But just like Elle, I struggled a little bit with getting the pigment to show up, so I ended up going in with quite a lot of layers. But I will say, it ended up looking really beautiful on the skin. For my look, I also really wanted to lean into the peachy shade of the high blush, so I decided to go crazy with it on my eyes as well. Not that you can really tell, but keep in mind that's kind of the look I'm going for. A very natural, everyday kind of makeup. And with that being said, here you guys have my final look. So now, seeing our looks side by side, which take wins. This is Double Take, a twin series where we take one product and create two different looks. Today's product, this Bronze and Glow face palette. So my idea for today's makeup was to focus on a very sun-kissed look while still keeping the makeup looking like skin, but with a little extra glow, of course. Starting off with a super light layer of BB cream and also a bit of concealer to brighten my T-zone. Lately, I've also been obsessed with this skin enhancer from Bobbi Brown, so I'm just using that as a cream blush before going in with the powder product. The reason why I wanted to do a sun-kissed and bronzy look today is because this face palette has pretty warm shades, and I usually lean towards more neutral and cool tone shades, but during the summer I feel like I can get away with a warm toned palette as well. I went in with some highlighter in my inner corners and then finished the look off with setting my makeup and applying a warm toned lip pencil and a clear gloss. I skipped the mascara to get that no makeup look, and that will be my final take. Now let's see Isa's. So for this look, I wanted to have a very natural base, so I decided to only go in with some under eye brightener and some concealer on my chin and under my nose, and then I decided to go a little bit crazy on the bronzer products. So I applied contour, I applied cream bronzer, and then lastly, of course, this powder bronzer. And as you can tell, that definitely got the job done. And then of course I had to add some of the blush. But now let's move on to the main part of this look. I bet you all have heard of eye maxing. If not, I would say it's all about making your eyes pop. So that's what I wanted to do. And since I have blue eyes, warmer and more orange tone shadows are supposed to make my eyes pop. So I used the bronzer in the face palette to kind of outline my eyes, and then I tight lined and added a diffused wing. Lastly, I added some mascara to my upper lashes, and this is my final look. So now, seeing our looks side by side, which take wins. This is Double Take, a twin series where we use the same products to create two different looks. Today's theme, a festival look. Can you really call it a festival look if it doesn't include a sparkly eye? Personally, I don't think so. So that's why I decided to go in with this purple shade from the Couture Mini Clutch palette all over my eyelids. It blended so easily, and this took me literally 2 minutes. Then I kept my blush very light because I wanted my eyes and my lips to be the main focus. So for the lips, I went in with the Love Shine lip oil, which has a hint of purple, which tied in absolutely perfect with my eyeshadow. And then to finish everything off, I added the Lash Latex Mascara, because no look is fully complete without long and defined lashes. Anyway, this is my final festival look, so now over to Elle. So I decided to go a little bit heavier with the blush, because I really wanted that fresh glowy look, and this blush gives the prettiest glow. You could probably spot it from miles away, which is kind of perfect for a festival. For the eyes, I kept it a little softer, adding 3 different shades of shimmer, and even though this palette is super pigmented, the shadows blend so seamlessly into each other, making it really easy to create a glowy eye look. And to keep the glow going, I of course had to set my face with the Top Secret Glow Perfecting Setting Spray. Not only will this help my makeup to stay in place all day, it will also leave my skin hydrated with a luminous finish. Then I'm just finishing off with some mascara, and that would be my final festival look. So now, seeing our looks side by side, which take wins. This is Double Take, a twin series where we take one product and create two different looks. Today's product is beige eyeliner. So when I was a bit younger, there was a time period where I used to use beige eyeliner in my makeup routine quite often, but I only applied it to my waterline, which I think is a bit too boring for today's makeup look. So once we decided to go for this product, I did have another inspiration in mind. I'm gonna try to recreate this eye look. I've actually already tried to recreate this look once before, but that was a really long time ago. So I was thinking, why not try again? It was definitely more difficult than I remember, and I think that's because this is another shade than the eyeliner I've used before. This one has a more beige color and is definitely more natural looking, while the one I'm used to is a bit brighter and makes my eyes pop a little bit more. But this one was still buildable, so I just added lots of layers. The thing I like about using a lighter eyeliner is that it really enhances your eyes and makes them look bigger. And then to incorporate the eyeliner even more, I applied it to my nose and my cupid's bow for some highlight, and that would be my final look. I don't think a light eyeliner has ever been a staple in my routine, so I was really excited to create this makeup look because it's something I've never really done before. I got off to a rough start by underestimating the pigment of the Rare Beauty blush. I know I should have known better, but it's been a while since I used it last. Anyway, let's talk about my look. So I had two things in mind: making my eyes look as big as possible with this light liner and working with a cool tone palette. So to make my eyes appear bigger, I tried to create the illusion of an eyeshadow. I'm not sure if that is how you pronounce it. On top of that, I kind of created two eyeliners, one where I usually place it and then one along my lower lash line. And I think this could have looked really good if I just made them a little bit cleaner, but thankfully the mascara concealed it pretty well. And here you guys have my final look. So now, seeing our looks side by side, which take wins? This is Double Take. It's one series where we take one product and create two different looks. Today's product, this red lipstick. It's not very often you'd catch me with a red lip, but it's not because I don't like it, it's just because I always forget that it's an option. But today I knew that that was what I wanted to go with for this look. I wanted to make it quite bold, so therefore I decided to do the rest of my makeup very natural looking, because I feel like a red lip can go wrong in so many ways. So by keeping everything else very simple, I won't be risking the red lip having to compete with the rest of my makeup, if that makes sense. And also, creating this red lip was way harder than I thought it would be. I think I spent a good 15 minutes on it and it still didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So if you have any tips for me, please let me know in the comments. Anyway, here you guys have my final look. Since Isa decided to go for a pretty bold lip, I thought I could do something different. I started off with a very natural looking base, skipping the foundation this time and only applying concealer. And as you saw in the beginning, I also applied a little bit of liquid highlighter before my base makeup, just to make sure that my skin would look really hydrated and glowy. I'm pretty sure many of you already know that the Victoria's Secret Angels actually wore red blush instead of pink to really achieve that natural looking flush on the runway. So my plan was to copy that makeup hack and use it for today's look. And as you guys probably also know by now, I like to match my lips with the rest of the makeup, so I had to apply some red lipstick to my lips as well. And that would be my final look. So now, seeing our looks side by side, which take wins? This is Double Take. It's one series where we take one product and create two different looks. Today's product, this brown eyeshadow stick. As always, we're starting off with the base, applying it as I usually would, except that I'm trying a few new products. I accidentally went in a little bit too heavy with the blush, so I had to fix that with my beauty blender before going in with powder products. I think I took away a little bit too much of the liquid blush, so I went in with a little extra of this powder one, which also gives you a very pretty glow. And if you know me by now, you know I will take any chance that I get to do a smoky eye. And my plan was to use only this product for my entire smoky eye, except for some light pink in my inner corner. I also like when my lips matches my eyes a little bit, so I went in with the same pencil to contour my lips before adding this pink lip liner and this milky lip gloss. And for the final touch, I went in with some powder to clean up and brighten under my eyes. And this is my final look. Now over to Isa. I wanted to create a very bronzed and toasty makeup look, so I took some inspiration from this picture of Hailey Bieber that I feel really embodies that makeup style. I decided to keep my base very light, only using concealer to even out my skin tone, and then going a bit overboard with the bronzer. Moving on to the eyes, I also of course had to do a smoky eye. Look how much bigger that made my eye look. Anyway, doing eyeshadow and eyeliner in general is not really my strong suit, and to be honest, this wasn't really my best work. But I will say that this lighting is really doing my makeup dirty, hence why I'm going to show you guys the result in a different setting. Of course, I had to finish off my look with some setting spray and also with brown mascara. Oh, and I forgot, I also enhanced my beauty marks. And here we have my final look. So now, seeing our looks side by side, which take wins? This is Double Take, a twin series where we take one product and create two different looks. Today's product, this Burgundy eyeliner. So I had a very clear vision of where I was going with this makeup look. My plan was to not do anything too crazy with the eyes, but still have them be the center of attention. So I wanted to go for a more pale look than I usually do. So therefore I only applied a small amount of bronzer, and instead I went in heavier with this blush. I think this is the perfect shade between bronzer and blush, and it really gives you that natural sun-kissed look. I also decided to add a little bit of freckles, which I haven't done in years. And then when it comes to the eyes, I just applied this burgundy eyeliner the same way I would with a brown one. And to make my eyes pop a little bit more, I decided to match this burgundy eyeliner with a brown mascara. And this would be my final look. Now over to Isa. Okay, so I really wanted to embrace this burgundy eyeliner, and I thought that the best way to do so would be to do a burgundy smoky eye. But first, let's talk about my base. You guys know how much I love a good berry shade blush, and as you can tell, I was pretty heavy-handed in my application and looked a little bit crazy, but I really just wanted my eyes and cheeks to feel cohesive. Overall, I just wanted wanted this look to scream burgundy. And to really get this makeup to pop, I was very intentional with my outfit choice, because if there's something I love more than a burgundy moment, it would be a burgundy moment paired with dark blue denim. I just feel like the colors complement each other so well. And then, just like Elle, I finished up my look with some brown mascara, and here we have my final look. So now, seeing our looks side by side, which take wins? This is Double Take, a twin series where we take one product and create two different looks. Today's product, this icy blue eyeshadow. It's not really every day you get to wear blue eyeshadow, so I just felt like I had to take this moment and try out one of Zara Larsson's iconic makeup looks. And when I tell you guys, this is one of my favorite makeup looks I've ever done, I'm not exaggerating. So let's get into the look. This look screams blush blindness, but in the best way possible. And pairing this icy blue shade with this baby pink was such a good call. Like, look how pretty that is. I kind of want to wear this every day. And what I think brought this entire look together was definitely the highlighter. As you can tell, I did not hold back with that. Then I set everything in place, and apparently I didn't feel glowy enough, so I added some more highlighter, and then I finished the look with these flower earrings. So here's my final look, and now let's see Elle. Since Isa decided to go all out on her look, I thought I could do mine a bit more toned down. So instead of having Zara Larsson as an inspiration, I was thinking of a more frosty ice princess vibe. So I thought this berry blush fitted perfectly to give me that rosy cheek, and then when it comes to the eyes, I'm not doing anything too complicated. I focused on adding a lot of layers of that blue eyeshadow, and then also applying a lot of highlighter to the inner corner of my eyes. I feel like that was the key to make them really pop and look extra frosty. For my lips, I'm continuing on that berry pat with this beautiful lipstick, and then I had to add a gloss as well. This one has a little bit of glitter in it, which I thought was perfect for this makeup. And that would be my final look. And now, seeing our looks side by side, which take wins? This is Double Take, a twin series where we take one product and create two different looks. Today's product, cream bronzer. So my idea was to do like a modern version of the 2016 and 2017 makeup era, a time when blush blindness wasn't a thing. Instead, people only used bronzer and contour. So I'm gonna go pretty heavy with this and apply quite a bit. And during this makeup era, we didn't see a lot of glowy bases. Instead, the goal was to be very matte and then go overboard with the highlighter. But as I said, I'm going for a more modern take, so I'm gonna keep my skin looking hydrated and dewy. So the only powder products I will be using is eyeshadow and also this powder foundation that will even out my skin a little bit and also make my skin look a little bit more bronzy. When it comes to the eyes, I'm gonna go pretty heavy with a smoky eye, using a cool tone palette with different shades of brown and also a light pink. And then I'm just lightly filling in my brows and using that same eyebrow pencil to line my lips. Finishing it off with a little bit of concealer and a light pink lip gloss before it's time to do mascara. And that would be my final look. Now let's see what Isa created. Okay, so when I hear the word bronzer, there is one look in particular that comes to mind. I am talking about the very viral, bronzy and glowy Scandinavian makeup. So the main focus is definitely on the skin, keeping it very fresh and glowy and not holding back on the bronzer. So to achieve that, I prepped my skin with a lot of hydrating skincare, and then I went in with multiple layers of this dewy setting mist. I decided to skip setting powder to keep the skin as radiant as possible, and then I went in with a bit of blush to get that sun-kissed look. And as I mentioned, this look is all about the skin, so therefore I skipped the mascara to keep the look more natural. I finished off with yet another layer of this dewy mist, and then I curled my lashes. And now, seeing our looks side by side, which take wins?